If you thought death was the worst thing that could happen to you, here are 10 characters that met a fate even more tragic. Revenant used to be a normal human, a hitman that could take out any target he needed to until he was turned into a simulacrum. This meant that Revenant still had his memories and knowledge, but was in an entirely different body without knowing, until one day a piece of glass allowed Revenant to see exactly what he had become. Talk about an identity crisis. Having enemies is bad enough, but having your greatest enemy use your body as a host is a fate that only Miles from Outlast truly knows. After Miles kills Billy, the Walriders then decide that Miles would be the best host for Billy, fusing Billy's body into Miles. Death is bad enough, but having to experience it over and over and over again is the reality that Celine has to live with. If she dies, she starts from the beginning, and worst of all, Celine believes that she can escape the death loop that she's stuck in, only to find out that there is no escaping it and that no matter how she dies, she will always start over. Being in a plane crash? Not fun. Waking up and being taken away from your dad by a man that painted himself red? Also not very fun. Timmy, the son of the playable protagonist in the forest, has to wait for his dad, Eric, to save him. This is done by a resurrection machine that can bring someone back to life, but requires another life to be sacrificed. After being saved and leaving the island, life seems as if it goes back to normal for Eric and Timmy, until they appear on a TV show explaining how they survived. It's there that we realize that Timmy may have not escaped the monsters from the island and has to live with that until we get our answers in the sequel. God of War's comedic relief, Mimir, is always cracking jokes and trying to make the player laugh, usually to cover up his pain. 109 years of pain to be exact. After being accused of treason, Mimir was imprisoned by Odin and bound to an indestructible tree, being tortured by Odin on a daily basis until Kratos freed him. STEM is a system that was designed for different minds to be connected and probed. If someone is overpowered by STEM or dies while connected to it, their consciousness is stuck inside it forever. This allows Ruvik, STEM's creator, to control them, leaving the person a hollow shell of what they once were, and not necessarily giving them a makeover either. James O'Brien is a Nero researcher that helps the main protagonist, Deacon, figure out what happened to his missing wife, as well as put the pieces together about the apocalyptic creatures that are taking over their world, the Freakers. You never see O'Brien's face until after you complete the main story and get the secret ending. It's there that we get a face reveal from O'Brien and truly understand exactly why he's been so interested in the Freakers. It's because he's turning into one himself. Having to live in a world being overrun by Freakers is bad enough, but becoming one yourself is freaking awful. The Cordyceps infection is a fungal infection that acts like a parasite, taking over the host that it inhabits and using the host's body to grow the fungi. The worst part about it is that when the infection reaches the brain, it doesn't kill the brain. It just takes over the host's brain, meaning that the host can feel everything, like the pain of the fungi breaking through its skin, but there's nothing the host can do about it as it's already too late. Ethan Winters, the man whose hands never seem to stay attached, will go to any length to resurrect and save his daughter Rosemary. Unfortunately for Ethan, he is constantly tortured, mutilated, and chased by the most horrifying creatures, except for Lady Dimitrescu. Even if Ethan does somehow lose a limb or even die, it never stays that way for long because Ethan has more scares to find and more pain to endure. The Guardians are the enemies that are anchored to the wall in Dead Space. Their legs are cut off, so even if they weren't attached to the wall, they wouldn't be able to walk, and they also have some other gruesome injuries. The worst part is that they keep some of the human consciousness, and even if they wanted to die, they can't, as the infection keeps them alive. Until Isaac comes through and dismembers them.